Alright, so what we have here is the Tapo C200 pan and tilt home security Wi-Fi camera. As if you didn't know that based on the video title. Anyways, it's compatible with Google Home and Alexa. Here's the box. So it's actually my second C200, and I ordered another one because I really like it, and they made some major improvements to it. More on that later on. And yeah, and that's pretty much the box. So let's go open it up. So this is what you have inside the box. Obviously you have the camera here, and then you have some screws and the mounting plate here, so you can mount it on a wall, upside down, on the ceiling. Here's they call this a way to, you can put this on the wall and you screw into it, so they make it easier for you to mount it. And then the charger, which is not a USB. Actually, it's not USB because it's 9 volts at 0.6 amps. Actually, no, they could have made it 5 volts at 1 amp because, or 1.2 amp, because that's still going to be like 60 watts or 6 watts. But right now it's like 9 times 0.6, so that's 5.4 watts. So yeah, I mean they they could have definitely made this USB. Anyways, that's what we have, and then obviously a bunch of documentation here. So alright, so I plugged in the power brick, and so let's go power this guy up. And you see that there's a red light there, and obviously you need the Tapo app to be able to communicate to this camera and manage and control it. And as you can see, I already have a couple cameras here, top cam and front cam. And my front cam is actually the Tapo C200, and it's just mounted on my door window pointing outside, and then I have what do you call this, mosquito screen. That's why it doesn't look clear, but anyways, that's what it is. Anyways, so it's booted up and it's doing a sweep here, and you can see the green light is blinking red. So now what we can do while it's doing that is we can add that to our app here, so we can see what are we trying to add here. So obviously we're adding the Tapo C200, and then it's asking, is it blinking red and green light? Yeah, it is, and it's gonna search for it. So it found it already, and connect, and then you can see it says it's found it. So it's now asking for my network information. So go next. Now it's connecting my camera.
Connecting to Wi-Fi.
Okay, so it talks too. I totally forgot about that.
Wi-Fi connected.
Nice. I don't remember if it was doing that before, but that's good. Now we can give it a name. I don't know where I'm gonna place it yet, but so we'll just stick with that name for now. You can always change that later on. And then same thing. You know what? Let's just say we're gonna put this in the kitchen. Okay, you've configured a Tapo device and it's ready for use. Sounds good. And now this is where Tapo, or in this case TP-Link, trying to sell you some more stuff after buying something from them. Yeah, try it for free, start plan. Well, we can always skip and try it out later on, so skip for now. Let me think. you can always go to camera settings to get the, yeah, see, like I was saying, got it. So now it says set up local storage, insert SD camera, SD card, got it. And then for now we can decide when to update the firmware. We probably should be doing that soon. So now we can see that the Tapo camera is there now. And you know, the first thing we want to do is to go here and then firmware update, and then update the firmware. So that's gonna take some time. You can see that it's blinking, so it's doing some stuff. So it seems like the firmware update is done, and so it's doing a sweep again, even though the app is showing that it's still installing, as you can see here. But the camera already rebooted and it's doing its normal sweep and stuff. So I think go home, and yeah, and so yeah, so there's the firmware of all connected devices up to date. So we can go back here. So it is probably the first time we're diving into the camera. So welcome to Tapo camera for this particular camera. And then, you know, it has some kind of intro here, look around, activity zones, yada yada yada. We know all about that already. So now you can see me over there pointing hello. Okay. It's now we're even getting motion detected notification from the device because it's seeing me move. Now, so to install the SD card, what we need to do is go into pan and tilt, and then just tilt this all the way up. And once we do that, able to access the SD card slot over there. There's also a reset button here. If ever you need to reset your device, you can do that by clicking on that.
The SD card is not formatted. Please format it according to the app guidelines.
Yeah. Okay, so
the SD card is not formatted. Please format it according to the app guidelines.
Yeah, I know. So what we can do then is go into the settings. Now it knows that there's an SD card here, and then press initialize to format it. Okay, now we're formatted successfully, I mean, and then we can go back here. Now it's saying that the SD card is good. Okay, see here we can change the camera name, device location. Let's say, let's say I was going to put it in the kitchen, so let's do that. Okay, we can give it a name, kitchen cam. Save. And then kitchen name is there. Okay. Now we got the location is in the kitchen. Time zone is correct. You can go into the Tapo carefree trial if you want. And then we have invert image. If you want to mount it on the ceiling upside down, and then you can invert the image, which is convenient. Status LED, you can turn that on or off so you can see the green light. Obviously I want it to be known that that camera is working, so let's have the status light, status LED enabled. Then you have privacy zone. If you look at the privacy zone, what you can do is you can specify areas that will be blocked out. So, but we don't need that, so we can disable that. And then here is kind of like the important parts: detection and alert. So these are like the main feature of this camera, right? So motion detector, obviously you want it to be enabled. There's low, normal, and high. And then if you find that like shadows is triggering it, then you want to go low. And then you can also specify the area to which you can sense the movement. So, which might be useful. Actually, it is pretty useful. And that's pretty much it. Aside from motion detection, there's also AI detection. And then person detection, you can enable that. Actually, this is a big thing. Person detection, as I'm pretty sure, was not available unless you have a paid subscription. But now, as you can see, I didn't sign up for the what do you call this? The trial or whatever. So yeah, this is big, and I'll show later that you can also use this on Alexa. So let's enable that baby crying detection. So this camera is actually pretty good too as a baby monitor, because well, it is a camera and it has a microphone. So, and the nice thing about this is you can use this baby crying detection, so it can notify you if the baby's crying. So I don't have a baby, but if you do, then yeah, that's good. And then activity notification. So your phone can be notified for any kind of activity type, which you can specify here: motion detection, person detection, or baby crying detection. You might just want to have person detection notification, because motion detection, as you can see, well, actually it's really actually, so there's a lot of notifications happening because my wife just walked out the door and it senses that there was a person moving there. So yeah, I just heard her walk out. So anyways, so you can choose. We don't need this. Actually, you know what? Let's enable that because the actual detection is off, so it doesn't really matter then. Now, reach notification is part of the subscription, so. And then here you can decide when to send you notification. In my case, I want it to be always sending me. It might be that you don't want it to send you notification while you're sleeping. So you have that option there. So that's like the main functionality of of this camera is detection and being notified. Also, the nice thing is the alarm. So I have this on my front door. So basically, if it detects motion, it can make an alarm. So just like that. Now, obviously, it's just gonna do that right now because I'm like moving in front of it. So let's disable that alarm for now. But that's what I have from my camera that on my front door. Camera. Oh, the other option there is sound and light or just light. So here it's just lighting up when it's detecting that there's movement. I think there's a cooldown period that it's not just always going to be flashing. See, now it's flashed again. Actually, you know what? Let's just kill that for now. And motion tracking. This is another big thing. Before, the motion tracking was only available when you have a paid subscription. Now you can enable that even without one, which makes a lot of sense because I think there was some backlash. Well, I don't know for sure, but I would imagine, because this is how I felt too, that if I'm buying a motion sensing articulated camera, I want it to be moving to track the movement. So you can see it's following the phone, right? So that's how it works. If a person is approaching the camera, and it will focus on it try to center that person, and then when they walk away, it'll try to follow them too. So yeah, motion tracking is huge, and so now we go back out. So that's the main area that you might be configuring is the detection and alerts. And then for the rest of the settings, you have micro SD card, so we did that. Oh, here, micro SD card recording. So we have it enabled, and in this case, you can specify when it would actually record. You have two options. Do you want to do continuous recording? That doesn't make any sense, and you're just going to be burning through the SD card. Or are you only recording when detection happens? And so then you can decide, here, if you edit this. So for example, at that time on Sunday, it's going to be recording continuously from midnight to 1 p.m. a.m. for example. And then you can change that. Not record at all. Oh yeah. Oh, here you got the option down there. So yeah. So every day, every hour, it's gonna record when detection is happening. And yeah. And what quality do you want to record it at? Obviously 1080p. Unless you have a really tiny card and you want to save the space, but 1080p. Advanced settings, honestly, I hardly go here, but yeah, you can probably see mode, record audio. I'm not sure. Device account and all these things. You have access to that there. And then you can share the device, and then you can also auto reboot. This could be useful. Some devices works better after reboot because it flushes their memory and stuff like that. So yeah, you can do that if you want. Here, just turn off for now. And that's what. And then you have options to reboot and remove the camera, which we don't want to do. So yeah. Okay, now that the camera is fully configured, actually no, almost. It's funny, it's just going nuts, like spinning and stuff. What we can do also is look at some of this option here. So here you can see that you can do pan and tilt. It doesn't help that it's moving a lot because it's detecting, but we can point it there for now at my screen. So yeah, so you can control the camera by doing this. And then you can also have your marks here. So what you can do is when you move the camera, you can specify a mark, and then you can move it again and then mark that position. And so you have this like bunch of preset locations that you can choose to, instead of moving the camera using the panel tilt controls, because as you can see, it doesn't move that fast, right? So it takes a while for it. But so let's say if spin it over there, and then we can mark that position, we can name that position, and then once you're here, you can toggle between this position, and it moves a lot faster. So you can do that again, and then you're gonna have multiple positions. So this is actually really convenient for me. Like I said, my other camera, the same C200, is on my door, and you can rotate in and out. So that's pretty convenient. So you have that option, and then you can take a picture and save it to the memory. You can manually record by pressing that, and then it'll save to the SD card, and then here you can adjust the sensitivity of the microphone. It's by default boosted to the max, and then you can full screen it, the display here, and you can go back, and then you can also press this button here, and then you can see then I can add all my other cameras, and then I can do this, and I can now see up to 4 cameras in one go. So that's my front door. This is in a bedroom on the second floor, pointing down at the garage and on the street, and then this is the new camera that's gonna go into the kitchen. Then I have another place for another camera. Actually, you can have way more cameras, so you can see you can just add as many as cameras as you. Well, 4 times 8, so 32 cameras is what you at least based on this app. I don't know if it's a technical limitation. It's just the UI was limited for some reason. So you can go back here, and then you got some other options in here. You can talk to. Oh, you know what? Let's go back. Kitchen cam. You can talk. Hey there. Yeah, so you press this button, and then there's a speaker back there, and you will talk if you do that. Panel 10, we did that. Voice coil. Interesting. I never actually used this before. Hello, how's it going?
Hello.
And you do that. So privacy mode. I guess the privacy mode is active and they can't see it. So in this case, let's say it's in my kitchen, but let's say you're doing something weird in the kitchen and you don't want to be recorded. Let's just say that, and you have this option. And so alarm off, Tapo care, and then playback memory. Alright, so for the playback in memory, I just switched to my front cam because there's more recordings there. You got 2 tabs at the top, and then here you can switch the date. And then you can expand this to so that there's a little bit more. Let's look at this one here. So as you can see, that it actually starts recording even before it detected the movement, and then you see that my daughter is walking out the door. The camera moves up to follow the action, and then it would actually move to the left there for some reason. But I think the shrubs were moving because of the wind. And then the car is driving out, and then the camera will move to the right because that's where the action was going. And then nothing's happening, so you can like speed up or slow down the video playback here. And yeah, so nothing's happening for a while, but it'll continue to record until I think, I don't know, like, is it 10, 15 seconds? And then as you can see, it moved down because that was the rest position at that time. So it moved back down after the action has ceased to happen. So yeah, that's playback, and then your memories here. So all right, so that's how you set up this camera and the Tapo app. But obviously you can also use Google Home and Alexa, but we'll do that on another video. So thanks for watching, and hope to see you again. Bye for now.